done right now, so my writing brain is like primed and ready for some action.
Ready. Give it some action. Beautiful. Right.
Actually, hold on. I really need to pee.
Oh,
right.
shit. To be continued. After Josh's bladder is empty.
Peeing segment.
Yeah. Let's get a soundbite for that, too. Josh is peeing. Wait a second. Josh is peeing. Be back in a...
Be back in a bit. Josh is peeing. Wait a second.
Yeah, it's like a little jingle.
No, I won't stop. The way that I keep to deliver.
SJ.
I'ma make these haters reconsider.
BBC.
I kick back,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
high up for life.
Oh, yeah.
And now I won't stop.
I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. Even if I try.
Hello, and welcome to Y'all Boys Talkin', podcast about nonsensical improvement, where each week we not only talk about bettering ourselves, but how we can help you better yourself by hearing us better ourselves. It's like, what? My name is Joshua Jean Baptiste.
Frank Hernandez.
I'm Maximo Santana.
And I'm Steve De La Valentina.
And the four of us have known each other for quite some time. And in our journey through adulthood and trials and tribulations, we developed a concept called STTT, straight to the top. Hey, Max, what is that?
STTT, straight to the top, is like putting together the perfect Christmas tree. And you're going to need a handful of things. Number one, you're going to need an actual tree, a solid foundation, a great base to build off of. Then you're also going to need some presents. That's the goal. That's the whole point of Christmas, right? The presents. You're also going to need a North Star, a big old centerpiece at the top, which is grit, determination, a good attitude, all the hard stuff. And also, throw some garland on that, just all the way around. And give yourself something pretty to look at. Give yourself a reward every once in a while. You put all that together, and you got yourself achieving your goals, knowing them, rewarding yourself, and having the attitude to get to the top.
Wow.
Gratitude is the attitude.
There you go, man.
What if I don't celebrate Christmas, though?
You know what? You can put up a Festivus pole. You can put up a Kwanzaa, Bush. That's not a thing. Let's just not talk about that.
You had me at Festivus pole.
Festivus pole, that's an actual thing.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure our listeners who celebrate Kwanzaa will be offended that you've reduced their thing to a bush.
Yeah, I really shouldn't. I apologize to all of our Kwanzaa celebrators. I don't know much about Kwanzaa. I will admit that. So
I think it said a Kwanzaa bush. Well, thank you for that. Gentlemen, hi.
Hey.
Frank, how's Disney Plus?
I was very much against the idea of Disney Plus as a person who works in the industry. The fact that Disney bought 20th Century Fox is probably one of the biggest hits that our business has taken. But if there's anything about the movie industry, is that it'll evolve and change and give A24 a big platform to make some dope ass shit on the low. But I did end up actually caving into Disney Plus and going halfsies with my lady because of The Simpsons. Man,
you gave them your money?
Well, technically she's giving them the money and I'm giving her half the money.
Okay.
So I can watch Simpsons. I'm basically buying my Simpsons pass is what's happening here because I wasn't big into Disney, a bunch of the Disney movies, except for a Goofy movie, which is hella underrated. And it's on the service. So fuck yeah, it's one of the best pictures about fathers and sons you'll ever see.
I would say the Goofy movie is the best movie with a character named Max in it. Just gonna say that.
Hell yeah. And Powerline and all. It's fucking amazing.
The Powerline. People sleep on that music video.
Oh my God. Hell yeah. That and yeah, no, I just love that I have all the Simpsons. They fucked up a little bit by cropping out the tops and the bottoms of all of the episodes from the first 19 seasons, but they recently said that they're gonna fix it in January. But for the interim, guys, it's so fucking great to watch the Party Posse. If you guys don't remember the boy band episode of The Simpsons, it's the best. That's what I think about Disney Plus. Josh, you got it too.
I do not have it. I pirate. I'm good.
Better hope they're not listening, man. They will come after you.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
You're not protecting the magic.
I mean, they're not protecting the magic.
Yeah, true.
If I see a fucking shooting star fall into my backyard, I'm gonna get it.
That's just being an opportunist. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Put it
I'll
on
be
your
out here,
tree.
all right? On that note, ladies and gentlemen, for our first segment, STT of the week. Cue sound.
STTT of the week.
STTT of the week is a person, place, or thing that exemplifies straight to the topness. And this week, we're going to get a little personal with y'all. STTT of the week goes to Mr. Elias Da Hora Jr. Take it away, Frank.
Elias Da Hora Jr. is a pastor, is a friend, is a father, is a husband, and a former member of the Bros. Before Y'all Boys existed, we were a slightly bigger group, and one of the members was Elias Da Hora Jr., who this week officially became a United States citizen.
Oh, my God.
We.
Nice.
After
Let's get
many,
some
many
horns.
years. After many, many years of being in the system and doing everything the right way, that he fucking put in all the effort, put in all the work, and he's finally officially a United States citizen. He's originally from Brazil, and having been very close with Elias, especially during our early years, he's possibly one of the nicest, kindest, most generous, helpful human beings I've ever met in my life, and that's not me being facetious. Like, he is truly like those one of a kind people that I'm blessed to have ever had in my life to begin with. And I remember many, many years ago, he asked a lot of his close group of friends to write letters because he's part of the Dreamers Act, and to be like, hey, why should he be able to stay in the United States? Why should he be a United States citizen? And I wrote like a 3-page letter, because in the 2 years that I got to spend with him back in high school, it was just, his energy is one that I've rarely found in my life.
And keep in mind, he put that application in when he was in high school.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about STTT, like working for your goals? This is a goal that's been 10 years in the making for Elias. And again, we helped him in, 2007, 2008? Like, we wrote letters for him, and I remember him having to go to court on specific days and file all these different like forms and paperwork and everything like that. And that was when, again, 10 plus years ago. And today, this week in 2019, that's when it actually he reached the top of that goal, and he actually became a United States citizen 10 years later. It's amazing.
I mean, perseverance is definitely one of the major qualities of trying to get to your respective top,
Yeah, and obviously, the past couple of years have been really tough for people who are coming to this country in any sort of way. So for the people who are out here, like, really putting in a lot of work, there's a lot of negative press put out, like, oh, people are coming out here to take your jobs, or like ruining the country or whatever. And I've never seen a harder working, more person who's contributed more to this fucking country than Elias Da Hora Jr. Obviously, we're all first generation kids, so we've all had stories with our parents dealing with it. But for someone who's our peer, for someone who we would play Call of Duty with, after school and whatnot, and make videos with, and work in the drama club, and Max, like, you were head tech in the drama department, and he'd be equally as efficient there as he was on stage. And Josh, you worked with him on stage, and he's a fantastic actor on top of it. So, like, this guy, I'm just incredibly happy for him, and he truly exemplifies STTT.
Let's get some Carnival music for Elias. Is it bad if I wanted to play Carnival music the whole segment? Just hey, 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 the whole time. Is that fine? Can we do that?
Shout out to you, Elias. We are giving you our flowers for the week. Keep on striving, keep on marching, and stepping to the top. On that note, we're going to take a quick break before we get into the pan con lechon of our episode. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Hey, y'all listeners. This is it. This is the week.
Thursday is the day where the family and feast begins. However, on Friday, try to resist the capitalistic urge to splurge. Instead, why not give your hard-earned money to those in need, instead of corporations bound by greed? The only materials you should worry about this week are forks, knives, and spoons full of your grandma's gravy. Avoid Black Friday, and instead, sleep in and have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye, y'all.
And we are back. Hello. Now is the time for the meat and potatoes of our episode, our challenge checkup. Cue sound. Challenge checkup!
Yo, Frank, you good there? You need to go back to the bathroom.
Oh, so long ago in our last saga, Max came up with this pretty brilliant idea and was like, hey, we should challenge each other.
That's what I
Excellent
said.
Max impression.
Yeah, just A1 Max.
And
right?
over the course of 6 months, you watched us succeed and fail, and we were together the entire time. This time around, we've switched it up. We now have a personal challenge, which is a challenge we've given ourselves, a friend challenge, which is a challenge given to us, and a community challenge, which is a challenge that has to affect the community. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a catch. Take it away, Max. I'm sorry.
Josh doesn't know who we are. But if I were Max, I would say something along the lines of this. We have to complete all these challenges by March 1st, 2020. If not, we will be given one of 4 punishments, which include a week without any recreational internet, 2 weeks with no entertainment whatsoever, 3 weeks with just having to eat one type of meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and finally, because we all love our facial hair so gosh darn much, we would have to also lose all of our facial hair for a month.
Babyface syndrome.
Babyface. But if we complete all of our challenges, we will each be receiving a Y'all Boys Talkin' Championship belt. Which we'll be receiving a dope-ass belt if we put in a lot of effort, and we will be receiving a not-so-great belt if we don't put that much effort. But we must all complete these challenges either way on our way to the top.
Ladies and gents, the time is ticking. The end is nigh.
13 weeks.
13 weeks.
If you remember previous saga, Max, we officially coined the term 13-week Max because he was actually the first one to complete his challenges in that saga. So 13-week Max was born.
However, he was usurped by 12-week Josh.
12-week Josh.
Yeah, I think that's the new hotness right there,
But
guys.
we'll
12-week
get
Josh.
to that rivalry later. Let's start us off. Frank, take us away.
All right, y'all. So I got 3 goals. My personal goal is to complete 4 music videos. My community goal is to become a mentor for big brothers and big sisters. And my friend goal is to cook twice a week with 1 new recipe every single week. All right, gentlemen. So if you remember a couple weeks ago, hashtag Team Frank is rallying. There was a good rally. There was a good rally. I had a pretty solid week last week. But the question is, a rally is not just 1 week. A rally is continued work. So let's start off with my personal goal to complete 4 music videos. Now, a big part of me trying to do these challenges is trying to split my time throughout the week into quadrants and to try and figure out exactly scheduling how to do it. So one of the things that I did for this is that typically after work, I'd call my lady up and we talk for an hour or something like that. But there are days where I'm just like, oh, I don't know if we should talk this long. So we actually, had a conversation about it. And now there's 2 days out of the week where I specifically work on these videos. So now we have an agreement. We're like, all right, on these days, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna work on these videos. So I have that already baked in to my week. So whatever happens, it's there. So I worked on my gosh darn music video, you guys.
Wow.
So this week I finished up the transitions that I started off last week, and I worked a little more on the color because I keep going back and forth with do I want it black and white? Do I want some scenes to highlight this? Do I want some scenes to highlight that? So there's just a lot of adjusting and moving and then I exported a V1. I exported a V1 of the music video.
That stands for version.
To which
one, right?
yes,
Okay,
correct.
Yeah, so you finished something.
Yes. In that sense, I finished something. I played it on my TV, on my big TV downstairs, and all right, so I gave notes to myself, and yeah, I'm gonna keep revising it to do a V2 this week. So I would give myself an A for that bad boy.
Wow. You know what? I like this. It sounds like Frank's music video progress is brought to you by clear, concise communication, and I feel like that's bonus points. So just establishing those routines and getting those boundaries set and making sure you've communicated that to all the relevant parties and then going in there executing. I like the sound of all of that.
Yeah. I will certify that A.
Big ol' A.
Beautiful.
Wow.
All right, so moving on to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, to become a mentor for that. So I'm still going through the book, The Body Keeps the Score, as I am still waiting for January to become a Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I've learned more about trauma and psychology, particularly about how trauma survivors, relive what happens. Like sometimes it could be like they shut down, sometimes they react with anger, your blood pressure increases, and it makes you sick. And I mentioned that a little bit last week. But that got harped in a bit even more because yesterday I saw the movie Honey Boy. And for those who don't know, it's a movie written by Shia LaBeouf that is semi-autobiographical about his life growing up with his real tough father. Which, if y'all remember 2 weeks ago, I had a very similar situation talking about my father. Mm-hmm. So seeing him kind of come to grips with like his father, who he loves, but also, caused him a lot out of trauma and difficulty because of like how they were raised and how things were different. It's both a beautiful and heartbreaking piece. So number one, I would recommend the movie Honey Boy for that, and it definitely connected me to that. And also a big part of Honey Boy was that he also was part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
Oh.
So in the movie, like, you meet his big brother and like how he had to deal with his relationship with Shia LaBeouf's father, and you're like, oh my god, like all the things that come up. So that really kind of brought in a lot to my head, where one, I really want to continue, I really want to start this program, but I also am a little more aware of things that could go wrong within it. So yeah, I'm super excited. But yeah, I'm still reading, still waiting for January. I would give myself an A for all the knowledge that I'm putting in my brain.
That's good. Damn.
Sounds like you made some progress there.
AA.
All right.
What's the final limit, bro?
All right, here we go. Last one. Cooking twice a week with one new recipe every week. Now, and also in the world of clear, concise communication, I decided to start something with my lady where each Sunday, and I said I wasn't going to do this early on in the thing, but I meal prepped.
Wow.
That sounds great. I don't know why you would be against it, but
it was just something. It was just something that I didn't think that I would do. Okay. It just didn't seem like that. But like making it something where I'm accountable outside of this podcast with someone else. That every Sunday I got to make something for the week, and it worked out interestingly. So I made a biscuits and chicken cobbler. And it came out pretty good, but the recipe did count for me to like beat these egg whites, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. So I started beating the egg whites, and I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Until like sticky or whatever. There's a whole thing that like happens with egg whites when you beat them for a long period of time. I ended up beating those eggs for an hour before I realized I needed a fuking standing mixer.
Yeah, you can't do it all by your hand.
Yup.
Some of it requires superhuman capabilities.
Yup. I felt like a dumbass, you guys. I felt like a dumbass. I just beat egg whites for an hour first with a fork. Then I took a blender ball. I attached that to the fork, for like protein shakes. Then I fucking did that for a while. Then I thought I was taking too long, so I put it in a blender, which undid all the work that I did.
You put the egg whites in a blender.
Yup. Because there's a whip function, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what I do. I blended it. And then it became liquid again, so I had to fucking do it again. At the end of the day, it fucking ended up in the middle somewhere. I put in the recipe. It came out fine. So
okay.
Jesus Christ. Either way, I would give myself an A.
Wow.
For that, because I meal prepped and I had food for the entire week. And I also made the chicken Milanese as well, because I had enough food for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday I made the chicken Milanese. So yeah, nice. I would give myself an A for this bad boy.
Frank,
wow, you got a
AAA week right here, Frank.
Week.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Team.
Like, first of all, this is why I wanted to challenge you with the cooking, because I feel like, Frank, there's a lot of little intricacies about food that you should become aware of, such as like whipping egg whites and how to cook a steak properly, right?
Oh my God.
And I'm glad you're going through these trials and tribulations and coming out a little bit wiser after each of them. I think ultimately, in the long run of your life, these tips and tricks will serve you, very, very well. So glad you're coming up with all this stuff. Glad you are, keeping on going when you're getting to the tough parts, and happy to see that you're rallying too. This looks like amazing stuff right here.
I gotta give a shout out to the hashtag Team Franks that I've gotten over the past couple weeks after the episode came out. I was like, it's good. It was nice to feel all that support. So like, it definitely helps me feel a bit more motivated to like really
Can't let them down.
Put an extra effort behind these things. But yeah,
Team Frank is rallying, man.
Team Frank is rallying. Hashtag Team Frank is rallying.
Great, cool. That's all right. Wow. All right, Steve, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, this is a hard act to follow.
The hardest act to follow. Yeah.
I'm part of the Team Frank rally too. So I just wanna.
You ain't getting none of those grades though.
I know.
Are you
I know.
rallying, Frank? Is that what you've been doing this whole week?
Hey, someone's got to do it. All right. So for Team Steve and my challenges, I got 3 as well. My friend challenge, it's a train for and sign up for a 5K. And I have a community challenge, which is to educate the elderly citizens of San Francisco in digital literacy. And my personal challenge is to make and publicly launch a video game. So I feel like a good value we've instilled is consistency, right? Right.
Yeah.
And
what type of consistency?
Oh yeah.
What have we been consistent with is the question,
Nothing. And I've been very consistent with a lot of nothing.
Oof.
So starting off with the friend challenge, the 5K, I haven't signed up and haven't eaten no healthy foods. Haven't put on any running shoes to run. No exercise has been done.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty clearly that's
okay. I was about to say.
D for consistency.
No, but exactly. It's consistent. This is like the 3rd, maybe 4th week in a row.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right ahead and say it, Steve. This is not the kind of consistency that anyone wants to see.
Yeah,
that's not gonna get rewarded around here. And
not around these parts.
Yeah. No, I know.
So what's going on, Steve?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was gonna follow up with my other consistent nothingness in the game, which I will say I thought about thinking about.
You thought about thinking about it.
I'm sorry.
That's less than conceptual work.
That's conceptual work.
Yeah, it's meta-conceptual.
Homeboy thinking about thinking.
So you said like you made a plan, like maybe in 2 hours I'll think about it.
I should probably think about this.
No, Frank, that's literally what I said. It was like Thursday, and I was like, Sunday's around the corner. I should probably think about the game, and then I didn't.
Okay,
got it.
I assume that's a
yeah, that's definitely an F.
For Rooney. Okay.
Yeah. Consistent F though.
You know what though?
I know. I'll make some end remarks on my last goal.
Yes. Okay.
Which, again, for the sake of consistency, the volunteering has actually kept going well. I had my first class teaching one student, as I realized like I have very little control over who's actually going to participate or even just come during those weeks. And yeah, it was this a woman who was interested in sharks and maps, and I really wanted to show her initially just how to search, like on Google, Gmail, all these kind of things, very essential interneting skills.
Yeah.
But instead I was like, okay, she really likes maps, but unfortunately she was really drawn to images of maps, which aren't quite as interactive. And then by the time she was like ready to learn, she's like, hey, I got to go eat lunch and I'll come back. So I waited, and she never really came back. So I didn't get to actually teach her Google
She's
Maps.
still on lunch to this day.
She might as well be. But having said that, it did have me thinking about the challenge itself. And I was thinking, when or how would this challenge ever be considered complete?
It's a good question. So, I mean, the challenge as stated, right, is to help the elderly community in terms of digital literacy, right? And in that, there's no time frame, there's no like end date, there's no like you have to help this many people type stuff. But I think if you did want to amend it,
because it is a challenge you gave yourself,
right? So I think you can say like, perhaps once you've gone through the curriculum once, or, once you've helped X amount of people, or, once you've done it consistently, like for this many weeks, I think any of those measures would be like fine.
You said you were starting a class.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think, Steve, in terms of completion? What would be a good marker?
You could just help all of the elderly in San Francisco.
Yeah.
32,986 people.
Max has the numbers.
Yeah.
Off the top.
I think I need to readjust the goal, because for the rest of 2019, I'll only be in San Francisco for 1 week, or at least on a Wednesday, which is when I do the volunteering. And yeah, I've already kind of thought about things I could do from afar this week, since I'm in Utah right now. But I obviously can't do much, as I can't be as helpful as I would be there. So I need to do some searching around Utah and see if there's anything similar I could maybe do around here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as you keep the community aspect lit. I mean,
yeah, no,
you still have the
course.
deadline, right? So
yeah. And even then, still, I would think about, again, what does the completion look like? Like, how do you know, like, you've checked it off the list, right? So, yeah, you probably should look at things in Utah as well, but also come up with, what is the actual endpoint.
Okay, yeah, that's only something I thought about, like, maybe a couple minutes ago when we were talking about completing goals and stuff.
Right.
I was like, wait, how do I complete that? But, yeah. I'll definitely think about that. But
also, we have other goals here that, you pretty much have to keep going until the end, right? Like Frank's cooking goal, like there's no set end date for that. That just has to be something he has to continually do, right? So it could also be like that. I think that's also, keep in mind, like if we don't think of something, like that's what it is right now, and that's what it's going to continue to be.
Yeah, and that's fine too, because my other two goals that have been very consistently failing are also very doable, or they're completable.
They have very set endings.
It's very clear when those are done.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my check-in for the week.
Okay.
And
Well, Steve, I got to go a little more macro on this. How you feeling, man? How are you?
I'm all right. I got a lot of other, things here and there, just in terms of, I don't know, balancing out my time, my energy, and I don't know. I guess in terms of priorities, maybe these challenges haven't been anywhere near like my top 3 or top 5.
Is there something that we can do to help you?
I don't know. I mean, maybe some reminders.
Okay.
Could be a start. I'm not sure if that's where like the lack of motivation is. I think. So, I guess something I went through in therapy last week was just kind of touching on this idea of like people having multiple parts, and that a lot of like the common way of framing yourself is to have just like one identity. It's just like, I'm this person, and then anytime you kind of do things that are contrary to what you imagine yourself as, like if you're an ambitious person who procrastinates, then you're just like, I hate being a procrastinator, I never want to be a procrastinator. Right. But then I've been kind of accepting different parts of myself and trying to better understand why I procrastinate, why I want to be ambitious, this and that. And one thing I came to terms with was that I don't always have to be productive. I don't always have to be mechanically like checking things off. For sure. Like it could be okay just doing nothing. Right. And yeah, I think that might be part of it, in that I just don't necessarily feel, I guess, inherently motivated to run or to make a game. I mean, they're both things that I know I want to do, and especially making the video game, and that one it's more clear. It's just the beginning part. There's probably like some mental roadblock as to like, how do I make this a really good game, for example.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think Frank Hernandez reminder system, that shit works. Not to add things to Frank, but I learned from that. So we can do some tag team, we can check in, all the things, and we can start there and see if that helps.
Yeah, I would also add, like, I find when motivation is lacking for me, I always then lean on to discipline, right? Because motivation comes and goes, it's fleeting, you can't really control when or what motivates you. But discipline, though, is entirely within your control, right? Like, discipline is about how intentional you are with your time, how regular you are with working on these things, and I think that's entirely, within all of our, skill sets, right? So I challenge you to like ask yourself, how disciplined are you being with these challenges, right? Like, how much time are you devoting to those, and how good are you at keeping to that schedule? Do you have a schedule? Like, what gets in the way of the schedule? And just being really honest with yourself about, like, if I'm not super motivated about this, am I at least setting 30 minutes to just like put some time at it, even if it's not the most inspired time I'm having? Like, am I at least going in there and trying on a regular basis?
And I like to wrap this bad boy up by saying, one, Steve, I love you, and you're always going to have my support in anything. As well as, so like, if you need the Frank reminder system, I got you with that. But also at the same time, like, always make sure, think about your week, think about your time, think about the things that you're doing, think about why you're doing these things. If ever you feel like whatever the quote unquote procrastination part of you exists, one of the things that I learned in therapy was give that shit a face. Josh, last saga was just like, give this person a name or whatever. But I did feel that was a little too out there. So what my therapist made me do was, like, me with eating fast food, it's just like, who is that? What is that? Give it a name, give it a face, give it a shape. And I found that it was me at 8 years old who wanted to like connect with my mother at Burger King because I didn't have any friends throughout the week. That's where my fast food things come from. But yeah, just look at your week, and you have our support in all of it, because these two particular challenges, the ones that you seem to be having the biggest issue with, they're not. Don't think of them as side challenges. As like you're 6 and 7, because particularly the running one, the friend challenge, that's gonna help all your other goals. Yeah. Like, even if the marathon itself doesn't go perfectly or whatnot, just the fact that you can physically not have to specifically think about, I got to do X, Y, and Z at this hour. I got to do X, Y, and Z at this hour. I got to work on this project and this project and this project. If you take those couple minutes just to run, just to physically exhaust yourself from that, your anxiety will go down, and hopefully everything else will become clearer focus. But yeah, all in all, I love you, man, and I really hope you got something for next week.
Team Steve.
Hashtag
send them love.
Thank you, guys.
They already are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I needed a rally.
Needed a rally, bro. All right, bet. Max, holla at us.
Hey, boys. I got myself 3 challenges. I got myself a personal challenge to enter 3 rock climbing competitions. I got myself a friend challenge to release a 5-track violin EP, and I got myself a community challenge to help out the Tech Workers Coalition. So this week for me, gonna go the Steve route and say I was very consistent as well. Which,
Oh no.
yeah, doesn't bode that well. But let's talk about it. So for my friend challenge, releasing my violin EP, did a lot of conceptual work, which I know does not go far at all in this podcast. But I think last week actually had kind of a breakthrough in terms of understanding that if I was going to continue to work at the pace I was working at, it was not going to happen within the time frame we needed to happen. And thank you guys for just like contextualizing that for me. So what I decided to do is actually like look for music that exists already with the sheet music out there, you know, probably some classical pieces, and then learn how to practice and play those and put that on the EP, as opposed to you being like, I want to make this super awesome project with a bunch of contemporary pop music that I transcribe myself. No. You know, lessen the scope a little bit to actually be something that can actually, you know, be produced in the time frame of this podcast. So I'll probably do one song like that there is enough time for.
You also need to learn how to play it.
Exactly, right. But the other songs will be music that already exists. Again, probably some classical stuff that I can just print out, practice, play, and then record.
Beautiful.
So that's the conceptual work I did. I did not get to practice though. So I think I still deserve an F because I thought about it, you know. I sat down, I did some thinking. But did I get better at playing the violin this week? No, I did not.
No, you did.
Okay.
No.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's an F.
Correct. Agreed. And very similar with my community goal, supporting tech workers. So there was an opportunity that I definitely didn't capitalize on. GitHub is a very popular company that people that write code will share their code and maintain that with many communities across the world on this website called GitHub. They have a contract with ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. And a lot of people think that's a super terrible idea. So on Friday, GitHub was having like their largest event of the year, like this, what's it called? Shit.
Hackathon.
No.
Computer down.
Just what do you call
rally.
it?
Command Shift 4.
No. I feel like the word begins with the C. Command C. Oh my god. Okay.
Convention.
Convention. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Take it back.
No, keep that.
So-
keep going.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So GitHub was having a huge convention, their largest one of the year. They invited all these speakers to show up, and a lot of them had dropped out because of the contract they had with ICE. They've been losing a few key employees as well, and the contract's only for $200,000, and they've definitely lost more money than that by maintaining this contract. So this group got together and they made a giant cage, and they wrote like no ICE contracts on it, and they put that out in front of their huge conference, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's my first week back at work. I really felt like I had to be at work, and I couldn't miss work to be a part of that, but didn't do much with that either. But I definitely wanted you guys to know, hey, there's people out there that hate ICE too, and some of them work in tech.
So you.
So that's still enough.
So is that
But did I do anything?
What did you do?
What did I do? I read about it. I saw the pictures. So I deserve an F.
Okay. Well, we'll get to your last challenge, and then
Got
we'll discuss.
Personal
That's an
challenge.
F.
3 rock climbing competitions. Thankfully, I did make some progress on this goal this week.
Not Sig Max.
Classic Max. So I've been recovering from the sickest I've ever been. I've been definitely, again, a week ago, I got out of breath taking 10 steps to like open the fridge and go to the kitchen. So definitely I wanted to take it easy this week, but still, show up to the gym, do whatever the bare minimum. If I was going to go to the gym, do one curl and then be like, all right, I'm pooped and leave, then so be it. But I was going to go. and do some stuff. So fortunately, I made it to the gym once this week, and oh my gosh, guys, did I lose a lot of progress in missing out on the gym for 2 weeks. So definitely got to do a lot more rehab. Again, I lost a lot of weight. Now realizing clearly a lot of that weight loss was from muscle, and I having a hard time pulling myself up. But at least I went in there. I did a lot of running, did a lot of climbing, and realized like I have to definitely work a lot harder just to get back to where I was 2-3 weeks ago. So I want to give myself a D for effort on that one.
Yeah,
because I feel like
I would give you an A.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
it was tough, but
the fact that you didn't do as amazing as you thought you would, that's one thing. But because the way that this podcast works, the way we do our grading system is how much effort you put in.
Absolutely,
this is all effort. Yeah, it was rough, but you still went.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would say it's all relative too. Like,
yes,
especially to your previous weeks. Like, you can't expect to run at 100% force from where you were at before. And I think even just showing up is the hardest part. And the fact that you actually did work out and did run and do everything, like, it might not have been as much as it was before, but it was much more than it was last week and the week before.
I mean,
agreed. You know what?
I hate to be
Go
frank
ahead,
here, but
what's that? What's that, Josh?
no pun intended.
Double entendre.
But like, I'm good with a D. But you only said you only went once this week.
Correct.
What prevented you from going twice or 3 times?
So literally just usually I go in the mornings, and I knew that if I went in the mornings that I'd pretty much have a terrible day at work. And again, I'm still reacclimating to going to work. Again, I missed 2 weeks of work. I missed Monday as well because I was still feeling the effects there. And I just had this feeling that, like, in my recovery, I was at the point where I could really only do one thing a day.
Okay.
If I wanted to do it well, right? And I feel like literally I would try to do 2 things a day, like go to work and then do some shopping afterwards, and then I would just fall apart. Like, I wasn't there yet. So I certainly knew going to the gym at any point in the day would wreck the rest of the day for me, unfortunately. So I thought about going after work, but that was just a no-go as well. Again, just like being at work, climbing up and down stairs and going to different parts of the building, that was kind of winding me as well physically. So I was like, if I go to the gym again, probably going to end up hurting myself or not do much at all. So.
All right. I agree. All right.
Yeah, yes, and that's why I would give you an A for that one, because, like, even though it's not a huge amount of progress, even with the difficulties, you still went out of your way to do it.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Which is a stark contrast to your other 2 goals.
True.
Now, so Max,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked Steve. How are you? Because the thing is, it's not like the violin stuff or the tech workers thing stopped because of the sickness.
Correct.
I would like to note to y'all listeners, if y'all been following with y'all at Y'all Boys Talking on Instagram, we do our weekly rankings. And because men lie, women lie, stats don't, Max, you have not gotten a B or an A in all 13 weeks of this saga. And a lot of it is because of your community goal and your violin goal.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Max? What's up? How are you?
Yeah, I'm learning definitely from my community goal. A lot of that is my social anxiety coming up, and the fact that if I'm going to, like, deeply ingrain myself and, make progress with these goals, I'm gonna have to meet new people. And that was a lot easier at my last job because I already had a community at work of people that I already knew that was deeply involved, and they would let me know about events. I would show up when I could, and that was great and all gravy. But now that I don't have that community built in, for me personally, I have a hard time going into new social situations saying, hey, my name is Max, what's up? I do this, I do that, etc. So I think a lot of that is what's stopping me right now, is just like knowing that eventually that's going to have to happen, and it's kind of scary. So I think I've been just dodging it, beating around the bush, and not doing many things there just to avoid those moments, unfortunately. So I think I just have to, and unfortunately, like there's also no going around that. Like I can't only act online or alone,
Facts.
right? Like I'm gonna have to like get over that hurdle myself in order to like make progress here. So I think I just have to do some work with me in terms of figuring out how to, again, ease that social anxiety and make it easier for myself to like not be afraid to like go into a meeting with a bunch of strangers and see what's going down.
Oh,
So I think that's what's stopping me there.
good to identify the problem, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I had somewhat of I would say I had somewhat of a similar problem initially when I was thinking about the volunteering. I was just like, oh man, like I'm pretty much asking these people to put a lot of faith in me, and I'm like letting them know that, hey, I want to help, and it's just people that I knew that either wouldn't want my help or just may have questions I didn't have answers for. I was just like, oh man, I'm like getting stressed out even thinking about it. And now the whole thing of teaching, I'm just like, and I think what helped me the most is just kind of like not even thinking about failing or just seeing it as like I'm putting myself out there. It's just like I'm volunteering. Like just the act of volunteering alone is everything. Like I don't have to be there. And my presence alone is beneficial to the people organizing the venue and just the
like
whole
I'm
thing.
here, I'm contributing, I'm offering my time, my services, all that
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it, even though it doesn't have to be like stellar, it doesn't have to be perfect and amazing. And I think that's probably where the anxiety comes from, is seeing it as another way of failing. Just being there is super helpful and beneficial, and just stirring up the conversation.
Yeah,
Your presence is a present.
I'd like to contribute to that as well in saying that, like, Max, you are an awesome person. So if there's a little reframing that might help you overcome that social anxiety, is that you are literally going to be a significant addition to whatever organization you are a part of.
Facts.
And as a person that has been in an organization with you, your perspective, your contributions, your insight, your wit, your smartness, and your overall gravitas. I just wanted to say gravitas. I don't know if that was the but
No,
well,
I
you do have
get you.
gravitas. But point being, like, the hardest part is showing up, kind of like what Steve said. But you'll realize the world of value once you are there, because there are more than likely people are not willing to do something for the community. More than likely people are not willing to even think about doing something for the community. Here we are, the four of us, making an entire premise for a podcast based around that. So, or at least a section of it. So you are already ahead. So really do think about what you've already done. You could have not done this. Granted, you're making incremental steps, but you are already ahead. So I think you should follow through with that, because the return of what you've already put in, I think, will pay off significantly when you give a quip or something that contributes to the organization. They're like, oh man, thank you for being here. So
True.
you just
Thank you guys.
And don't be afraid to share it, bro.
Yeah. I think this is helping me like wrap my head around why it's difficult for me, and also making it very clear to me to understand, like, there's a lot any organization could stand to benefit if I can just get over myself. And definitely I think I'll try a little harder to put myself out there next week. Not to go against, like, any feelings I have against myself, but just like Steve was saying, is like, and you too, Josh, like, I just need to contribute. I want to contribute, and I think I can have a lot to contribute, and it's kind of a shame for me not to.
Hey, it ain't gotta be shame. We all going through
True.
shit.
I wouldn't say shame, but like,
there's an opportunity.
It would be great if I could.
There's a great opportunity for
There's
you.
opportunity there, exactly.
Yes. So
yeah, and I would love to take advantage of the
There you
opportunity.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. Josh, take us home.
So my community challenges was to get speed bumps installed in my neighborhood. My friend challenge was to be sober for 90 days, 60 of them being consistent and the 30 of them cumulative. And my personal challenge was to write a one-person show. So I have successfully completed my community challenge. I'm waiting to see progress, so I'll be taking pictures as I see them.
That'd be lovely.
So that's done. My personal challenge. So I decided to say fuck it and move past the outline. I felt like I had enough to kind of get going, and I started my script this week.
Oh shit!
Ooh, that's the opposite of conceptual work.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I actually did a lot of conceptual work throughout the week. Like, I've been thinking heavily about it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm ready to pull the trigger. So I went ahead and started the script. So I have the opening scene, I have the character, I'm kind of setting it up, and as I'm writing it, I'm figuring it out. I spent like 3 hours on it this week, so I'm still on the first page kind of ironing it out, but I'm in the script, so I'm actually going to give myself an A.
Hey.
That is an A, bro.
Yeah, showing up is the first step.
Yeah, and honestly,
is the hardest one.
Nothing is more satisfying than writing title pages. So like the fact that like I wrote the title page and written by Joshua G. Baptiste, and then like
formatting the document and stuff.
Like I love all that shit. So like I'm really motivated now. Also, a project that I've been working on for the past couple of months is finally done right now. So my writing brain is like primed and ready for some action.
Ready.
And for my friend challenge, gentlemen.
What is this? What is this?
Good news is subjective, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
When someone starts their checkup with like a very cryptic first line, I already know what grade it is.
All right, so let me come.
Please continue, Josh.
I've been inspired by Max and Steve by being consistent.
Got it.
And man, I've been indulging in party favors since my birthday.
Cool.
I put it away. I picked it back up, and I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying the party favors.
You had 60 days away from it. I imagine there's gonna be some sort of a
withdrawal phase. Have you been fiending?
Something.
No, I think withdrawal would have happened like within the first 2 weeks he started it. So I think we're way past that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's whiplash, more or less, like a rubber band that's been pulled away, and I'm just, I know when it's going to definitely stop.
When? What's the date?
What's the exact date, Josh? Give us the date.
I'm currently in transition. I'm about to be in transition of housing, so I will be living with my mother at the top of next month. So I know party favors cannot be allowed there, or they won't be supported there, because I ain't trying to get litter on my mom. So part of me is really just trying to enjoy the last bit of like autonomy I have by just doing that. So I know that's like the main reason, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna miss it when I'm there. So yeah, I mean, I have no excuse. It's an F. I what I am going to do is try to just get rid of it all, like give it away, get all party favors. I mean, I'm gonna try that, but there was just so much booze for my part. It's hard. But look, I am aware, and I know Frank is gonna ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing great. I'm doing great because of it. I can do it without it.
Because of it?
Not because of it. It's helping my greatness. But is it? Is it? Yes, you're right. Point being, I got an F. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all like I'm gonna stop.
No one's asking you to stop.
I know when I'm gonna stop. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Okay.
There's a countdown.
I'm gonna go back to my original thing of trying to just keep it on the weekends. I failed that this week. and I'm going to make a
Yeah, I feel like you said that last week.
I
Yeah,
did say that
you
last
said that. You said that a couple weeks ago.
I did
actually.
say that last
I mean, be realistic, Josh. If you really are, you see the writing on the wall in terms of the top of next month, and you're aware that that's going to be this shut-off date, do you realistically expect yourself
Like,
to
I don't
then
think so. You know what I'm
refrain?
saying? Like, we got Thanksgiving. You finna be in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a whole
It looks like
festivity.
you're already
Yeah, but
making
there's
You've
no
already
excuses.
excuses.
planned out the days where you're definitely going to do it. That we understand.
Because look, and you had plenty of excuses, which is why I was really proud of you in the previous number of weeks, where you had Steve's wedding, you had all these like other events that
So
came
many
up, you had
invites,
these parties and shit like that, and straight up, you made it through all the way sober.
No, dog.
Yeah.
I know.
You did. You did
I
it.
know.
And now you're saying that like, oh, Thanksgiving, that's the day you have to get drunk.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not
But-
pressing Josh like he needs 30 days cumulatively
No doubt.
before March. I think he can totally still, pass. It's definitely not on the track right
Like,
now.
I know I'm
hence
okay.
the F. But, I don't think he's in danger of, not making
But I
it
will
at the same
say
time.
this has, similar to you, you're distilling down the why. And in all of this, I realized that, like, I have a habit of just, like, going to the extreme after I hadn't, like, used something or been a part of something in a while. It's like my discipline is on point, and then the second I don't have to be disciplined anymore, it's like, oh, fuck, like, I'm realizing that about myself. And I don't know why just yet. Maybe it's a part of my child, but my inner child. But I'm aware of it.
Childhood. It's it.
And I'm aware of it. and I will make the necessary steps when, I don't know. Yes, I have enough.
No, yeah, and the thing is, like, yeah, it's 30 days cumulatively, but remember, like, don't let the fact that you can wait until the last 30 minutes of this challenge to do it, because it'll also fuck up your average. Because if you can get Fs every single week, and then the last 30 days nailed, but then that'll fuck up your average. But more important than these grades and all that stuff like that, what I hope that people get out of this podcast, this week's episode, is just awareness. Just be aware of, like, the things that you've been doing and why you're doing it, or why you're not doing it, or what's helping you avoid it, or what's
and also
making you
looking
jump
at the
to it.
grades right now, we only gave out A's and F's this week. I don't know if you guys realize that.
The
But
extremes.
either everyone on their specific challenges either passed it flying colors or failed it bar none. No B's, no C's, no D's this week. And I hope to see that change, next week. I hope to see a lot of these F's, go to non-F's. So
F's go to non-Fs.
yeah, and definitely, it looks like things are getting polarized. So
Okay. All right. Ladies and gents, we're here. We're striving. We're rallying. Send us some hashtags. Send us some love. Give us some support.
let your team know who you support.
Let your team know who you
show-
support, because we support
show them you love them.
and what you do.
Yeah.
And
We'll be back. you forget how this podcast works.
yeah, shoot us some love. Slide us some DMs. All the things. The teams need you.
Hashtag team, show your team love, and thank you hashtag Team Frank for all the love. I
Yeah,
appreciate
for sure.
it.
Yeah, Team Steve, come through, please.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
Help me, Obi-Wan
Don't go
Kenobi.
anywhere for our final segment. We will BRB. Attention. Are you between the ages of 18 and 34? Do you work 20 or more hours a week? Would you describe your room as not messy because you know where everything is? You may be suffering from laundry chair and may be entitled to additional seating. Don't wait. Call 1-800-CHAIR-CHAIR-CHAIR. Once again, don't wait. Call 1-800-CHAIR-CHAIR-CHAIR to see if you qualify for an additional seat in your room. Our specialists are waiting. And we are back for our final segment, Rose, Bud, Thorn. Cue sound.
Oh, I got my rose, I got my bud, I got my thorn. Here is the rose and thorn.
thorn is an opportunity for us to give gratitude for our week. Your rose is something that you are grateful for or something that's just really awesome that happened this week. Your bud is something that you're looking forward to next week. And your thorn is something that was like, thorn in your side. So what you got for us, Frank?
All right, y'all. I got a thorn, a rose, and a bud. Let me start with my thorn. So there's a bunch of stuff going on at work that's a little bit annoying that I can't really talk about legally. So I'm gonna just wrap it up in one simple phrase. Yo, Sony, you suck. Yeah. There's if I go into specifics, I don't know how they know how to run shit. There's a lot of other companies that seem to know how to get work done, and y'all don't seem to know how to do it. Anyway.
Okay.
That's my thorn. My rose is on the opposite end of the spectrum. I think I had the best day of my working in advertising career ever last Monday, where my boss brought me in to pitch for a film with some actors that I am very familiar with. And I came in very prepared. I was a little nervous. My voice was a little shaking, but I talked to like these executives about it, and I saw them light up, and like my boss gave me a lot of compliments on it and whatnot. And I felt really good. I was just like, oh shit, I'd never been more prepared for a presentation in my entire life. Ooh. So it was really cool when a bunch of my interests could cross over in that way. So nice. it made me really happy to be doing that for that presentation.
That's what's up.
And finally, part of me is like really excited that The Simpsons on Disney Plus. I'm more excited that it's going to be in its full 4:3 aspect ratio starting 2020. But to be honest, my bud for this week and next week is still going to be that my lady is coming over. She's it's a long distance situationship currently, but she's coming over for Thanksgiving, and we're gonna be hanging out that entire week. And I'm so absolutely happy. This is I must say the happiest I've been in. I'll say the happiest I've been in a relationship for fucking ages. And thanks to therapy, thanks to a lot of introspection, thanks to a lot of that, it's made me a lot more clear of what I'm looking for in my life. And God, I'm just really excited. And the day that this podcast comes out, she'll actually be arriving at the airport.
Wow. So when people are really listening to this, you can rest assured Frank is very happy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. I'm super excited. But much like Steve on his way to last month, where it's just like, what the butt is. So yeah, my butt for these next couple of weeks is just like, yeah, I'm just super excited to spend all this time with her.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Steve, what you got?
Who did I have a thorn today? Or
oh boy,
who did I have a thorn this week? I initially planned to come to Utah maybe 3 weeks ago, and those plans kind of changed with more things added onto them. We were bringing a cat in on board. Long story short, I planned very poorly. My Friday, I packed, I cleaned, I did a bunch of stuff. I ended up being an hour late to the flight, so I had to buy another flight to from a different airport. Ended up being $400 for a one-way flight.
Oh, God.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I thought to make the most of my situation, because I had to check my bag as a checked luggage. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring some liquids on board, and then I come back. I unpack my stuff, my laptop, my projector, my Switch. They're all drenched in liquid. Yeah, so the laptop has some water damage, and
no.
Yeah, but it's okay. The only thing that's kind of suspect is the projector, but it's all good. So don't rush into things, guys. Just do things.
Not flights, not carrying.
Yeah,
animals.
not flights. Yeah.
Facts.
My rose though is Apple. My younger cat is here. She's in Utah. She seems to be enjoying the apartment. And yeah, I was really excited to get her transitioning over here. Next is Elle, who's like super anxious, but that'll be a journey in its own in a few weeks. And my bud is that this weekend I'll be in Denver with Celeste. We have a friend of hers that's going to be hosting us. And yeah, I've never been to Denver, only in layovers. And I'm excited to see what it's about, besides The Shining. Because we watched it last night.
That's cool. Steve, if you're down with, bringing things, liquids and stuff across borders, you just buy all the marijuana you can in Denver. You put it in a peanut butter jar. You close it up real tight. Put it in a bag. Put it in your check luggage, and then they're probably not gonna find it.
You're right.
Don't implicate Steve on air.
Okay. I'm sorry, Steve. Definitely don't.
Allegedly.
Do that.
Okay,
I'm very happy. If
Don't do it.
Yeah.
The disclaimer: don't do that.
Yeah, I will definitely not do that.
All right. Thank you, Steve. What you got for us, Max?
All right, I got a thorn, I got a rose, I got a bud. All of mine are work related. Definitely spent most of my week preparing for getting back to work. Very anxious about it leading up to this week. So definitely want to put a lot of my effort there, and that's where all my things come from. Let's start with my rose was just, again, being back at work. And I hit the ground running. I had a huge training I did on Thursday after just coming back on Tuesday. And this is a project that I had to put on hold before I got sick. And I just kind of picked it up and ran with it with the people that were working on it without me, which was great. Just like that, they trusted me to do that. And they were like, "Are you sure, Max?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it." Went in there, had a blast at the training. My thorn, though, was at that training. So the organization I do training for is about 900 people. And when we're doing a live training, we can expect to have like anywhere from 2 to like 500 people like listening to our training at any time. So I like to do interactive portions, right? This one interactive portion failed spectacularly, guys.
Oh no.
And what happened was the software we were using, we forgot to renew the subscription. So we were using the free version. I didn't know we were using the free version.
No!
And again, we have hundreds of people there, but the free version, the limit is 25 people. So and again, like, and I like to do this like QVC thing where like I'll offer like prizes for people that participate and all that stuff. So I'm showing people we're giving away batteries and Bluetooth speakers and mugs and all sorts of like corporate company swag stuff, right? And then you have to enter the competition and then again there's about 250 people waiting to enter this competition and then it immediately fills up in 0.2 seconds with the first 25 people, leaving me with 225 disappointed people and faces in front of me. So that was not a great situation to be in. But we rolled with the punches, we kept it moving, and we did what we had to do. And yeah, made it out alive, so I'm happy.
Fuck.
Yeah. But those are the trials and tribulations of being a trainer, guys, if you ever want to get into that space. And my bud, though, is I just spent my first year at Pandora, which is great, which means my stock started vesting. And for those of you that haven't had that experience in the past, when you start working at a company, they give you conceptual stocks. They're not actually yours, but they'll show you the number and it'll be in an account for you, and they'll let you know how much it's worth. And it's not until a specific day passes that they become actual stock units. So that day happened for me this past week, and it made me a very happy camper. And starting from this point, my stocks vest on a quarterly basis, and I don't have to wait a whole year for that to happen. So life is pretty good, and again, very happy with how my company's treated me. So hey, Max is doing fine, guys.
Stocks been going up like a crescendo.
Yes. So that's what I got. It's
the crescendo of your violin, nigga.
Yeah, you're right.
Gotta put some vests in there too.
Yeah, for real.
Yep, true.
Josh.
Sorry, Rosebud Thorn is Sans challenge checkup shade.
Okay.
To save space. Okay, cool. All right. So for me, my thorn this week is that I was visiting a friend and I drove around for an hour because there was no fucking parking.
Oh.
And that's annoying.
That's a Los Angeles problem.
It's really annoying. And fuck Miami Beach. My rose, well, not the city, but the parking system.
The parking, gotcha.
My rose this week is that a project that I've been working on for a very long time won a grant, and it's going to be funded, which is awesome. So I'm really excited about that, to be slogging and grinding for such a long time, and then to be recognized, especially financially, for something awesome. So that's really fucking exciting. I can't say too much, but I'm really excited about that. And lastly, my bud is that I started doing stand-up.
Nice.
Last week or this week was my improv show graduation. I've been taking classes at the Villain Theater. Shout out to Villain for 9 weeks, and it was my graduation show. And I was like, all right, on my ongoing journey for creative growth, I decided to do a stand-up class. So I'm starting stand-up comedy, and I'm going to be working on a Type 5, which is really cool.
Type 5.
I'm learning a lot about myself. It's not acting. It's not storytelling. It is stand-up. So I'm being forced into uncomfortable territory, which I feel like I need to shape myself into. But it's really exciting because creatively, I like creative new challenges. So
nice.
Stay tuned for my next special.
I'm very much looking forward to stand-up Josh. So
like I got my popcorn. I'm sitting on my yoga beanie, and I'm here ready for the Josh spectacular.
It's nice, and I'm already. What I got so far is good, and I got some really positive feedback. So
you got
I'm
lose
excited
5
to keep growing it. Lose 5. Do what?
You got to lose
5
right now.
Yeah, I got to lose 5 right now.
Type 5 coming soon. Yeah.
On that note, ladies and gents, the time has come for us to depart. Once again, we thank you for listening and giving us the endless support that you do. If you like what you hear, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts or any other thing that allows you to give us a review, whether it's a thumbs up or a star, whatever it may be. We appreciate your feedback, and we appreciate you sharing that you like the show. All the Team Franks, the Team Maxes, the Team Joshes, and the Team Steves.
Yeah.
Y'all need to rally together and get some more troops. We would appreciate you regardless. We hope you have an amazing, productive week. We'll see you next week. Deuces. We have a couple shout outs we want to give. Shout out to Adi and Lewis for our interstitial music, to Geno Music for our wonderful theme song called Won't Stop. To learn more about our challenges, go to y'allboystalkin.com or follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at y'allboystalkin. New episodes every single Wednesday.